Okay, so Steampunk Tarot, the Gods of the Machine. I'm just grabbing it right now. Alright, so welcome back to Fable Stan, and this is Kim. So in this video, I want to talk about the Steampunk Tarot. So it's not really an unboxing, it's not really a review, kind of just a vlog on the Steampunk Tarot. So it's this deck that I'm talking about. The Steampunk Tarot, Wisdom from the Gods and the Machine by John Kaylin Matthews, with illustrations by Will Kinghorn? Will Kinghorn. So honestly, this is such an underrated deck in the tarot community. It's such a great deck, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you a little story about this deck that I have. This is not the first time that I purchased this deck. I actually purchased this deck, or tried to purchase this deck, or rather I purchased it and didn't keep it. Anyway, so once upon a time, I've actually, even before that, I've always loved the universe of steampunk. I love the genre of steampunk. I love steampunk stories. I love the futuristic, historical sort of aspect of it. I love that it's in Victorian society, and I love stories set in the Victorian society because it's such a rich society with ridiculously rigid society standards, especially, you know, like gender norms and how you're supposed to behave based on your status and your class, etc. So it's just ridiculously rigid. I love seeing characters who challenge those norms, and I love seeing characters who rebel against those norms, because that's something that I like to do as well. I've never believed in norms, and I've also always believed in cultivating your own destiny and that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why I love Steampunk Tarot. I just love the aesthetics of it. I love the art, I love the copperish tone, I love the music. I love steampunk, and that's one of the reasons why, well, that's all the reasons I love steampunk. So I bought this tarot deck. 2 years ago, I bought it for the first time from my local bookstore. And I bought it, I opened the deck, and I was really happy. I read the guidebook. It's just such an amazing world of steampunk incorporated into the archetypes of tarot, and it's just such an amazing alchemy of tarot and steampunk. I was so stoked. And the only thing that I was just like bleeding over, like literally, was the cardstock. I don't know if it was just like the deck qualities in general or just that particular deck, because the decks were like, it was the first deck that I got, it was like the cards were really dirty. I think there was like edges that were like chipped, there were like wrinkles everywhere, so it was a terrible experience. So I loved the guidebook. I read the guidebook from the first deck that I bought, and then I just could not really work with the deck because the physical quality of the paper was just so bad. So I decided to give it another try. I returned it to the bookstore, and I ordered another copy from online, hoping that it would just be that one deck that has the error and the manufacturer fail or whatever. And the second deck came, and then it wasn't dirty, it wasn't wrinkled, so I was happy about that. But if you have the Steampunk Tarot, I think some other tarot decks would do this. Instead of like putting all the cards in one deck or in one pile, they would kind of have a box where there's two piles, and there's like two sort of indents or boxes in there, and then they would separate the deck into two piles, and they would put the cards in two piles. And then the two piles in that second box, they were bent in different ways. Like one of them was more like this, and the other one was more like this. It was lame. It was so stupid, because when I put them together, I could not shuffle them. And I literally got a paper cut, and I bled. Like the blood came down my finger. It was horrible. It was painful, and I was so discouraged that I was not able to shuffle the deck. And I was just so discouraged by my whole experience of purchasing the Steampunk Tarot. I just did not purchase another copy, and it was just terrible, and I was so sad. Like I was so sad, like heartbroken, because I loved that deck to bits. I just read the guidebook and everything. I loved the art. It was just like the cardstock, man. I'm just like, I got a paper cut, and I was just so horrified. I just returned that deck as well, and I just kind of put that on my mind. I just lamented for like the next 2 years or something, until I got a gift card on last Christmas for my local bookstore, and I was like, I decided to give this deck another chance because it was like around the range of the gift card, so I bought it. And I was really happy to say that the cardstock was fine. I mean, it's not the best cardstock that I've seen compared to some of the other decks I own, but it's decent, it's good. There's no wrinkles, no dust, no bent decks, and I could shuffle them, and I knew that I was going to keep it this time, so I decided to keep it. And the first thing that I did with this deck was to trim it and corner punch it. So that's something I started doing. I wanted to make another video to show you some of the decks I trimmed, and I also recently started edging. That's really cool. And this is how it looks now. So It's like a bit smaller than the original, and then I just love the fact that I trimmed it. So now you can see the artwork is just like, you know, it just pops and just it's freed from the horrors of the wide borders. So I trimmed it, and I know that this is a deck that I'm going to keep forever and treasure, and this is gonna become, it's probably already one of my favorite decks. I want to study into it a little bit more just because there's so many like steampunk specific and story specific elements that are just specific to this deck, and I'm just really looking forward to studying it. Oh, that's the back. So this is trimmed, just bear in mind. So there's like a bit more like usually, but that's the back. But yeah, I love it because like it sort of reinterprets the system of tarot completely in steampunk terms. The 78 cards of tarot is just representation and snapshots of this amazing, fantastical steampunk kingdom. So the major arcana will be the gods. So that's kind of aligned with how I interpret tarot, which is deities, archetypal deities, and then in this steampunk tarot they're called the gods of the machine. The machine is sort of like this term to represent the universe. It's the machine. There's like different parts that need tending, there's different parts that have different functions, and we all fit into this perfect picture, or this picture of the machine. So it's really cool. This is the apprentice or the fool, and this is the technomancer, the apprentice master, and then he's going to lead him to meet all the other gods to kind of initiate him into the world of steampunk. And the major arcana are all like renamed and reinterpreted. So as you can see, the apprentice and the technomancer, and then the high priestess, instead of high priestess, is called the aviatrix, which is super cool. And I'll just show you some other ones. And empress is still the same, emperor is still the same, and then hierophant is renamed horologer, which was super cool. Like horologer is a timekeeper, right? And that's really amazing. And lovers is renamed explorers, and I'll just show you like another one. Chariot is triumph, and let me just need to show you another one. Engineer, inventor for the hermit, time machine for the wheel, brazen head for justice. I think I'll just show you all the majors. These are the gods of the machine. Suspension tank. So they are the gods that look after Imperium, which is the steampunk kingdom of this particular tarot deck. Spring Heel Jack, that's death. Spirit Gauge, that's temperance. I love it. Cyborg is the devil. I remember reading about the interpretation of the cyborg. It was fascinating. Stricken Tower is the tower, so this one's not too different. Comet is the star. Moon Voyage is the moon, obviously. Solarium is the sun. Regeneration Machine is Judgment, and the Cosmic Blueprint, and I think that's on the box as well. That's the world. I just love the spirit of adventure in this deck. I love how the minor arcana, instead of the 4 suits, you have the 4 leagues. You know, instead of fire, water, earth, and what's the other one? Air. You have the League of Engines, the League of Submarines, League of Leviathans. That's for Earth, and the League of Airships. So I like how each suit is represented by a type of vehicle that traverses across this particular element. And I think it's cool because that's just so aligned with the spirit of adventure and the spirit of journey. It really matches my metaphor for life, which is a journey or a quest. And I like how each minor arcana card is like, you know, for example, Ace of Submarines or 2 of Submarines. It's like a snapshot of this journey that you partake. For example, if it's 2 of Cups, and it's journey that you take with the submarines into the depths of your heart or into the depths of your emotional water or something. Every single snapshot, every single minor arcana card is a snapshot of a journey that you take. It's a type of journey. It's like a little trip or a quest or something like that. It's just really cool. And then when you look at the core cards, let me just show you. So the core cards are renamed as well. Instead of pages, knights, queens, and kings, we have the messengers, the navigators, the lady, and the captain. So it's just so cool because all of them have this like traveler, adventure type of vibe. You know, the messenger, you know, they bring you news, or they're still kind of running around, learning about the world. They're gathering information about the world. And the navigator, obviously, they know how to get, you know, they know how to get around. They can function as leaders. They can also be explorers. So they're sort of like still on that journey of becoming. And the lady, this is the Lady of Submarines. And lady is like the empress or the queen, right? Lady kind of has that sort of like, I don't know, when you say lady, it just has that vibe of like, sophisticated, nurturing sort of vibe that's coming up from the word lady. And then there's the captain of submarines. and which is the perfect substitute for an emperor, I feel, because captain commands his ship or commands his vehicle, he commands this particular journey, and he has that vibe of authority and power, which is aligned with the kings and what kings traditionally represent. So I think this whole deck is just so awesome, and I just cannot I need to show you. This is 6 of Leviathans. See that amazing steampunk turtle there. And just so many cool machines in here. And this is 7 of Leviathans. Like, honestly, like, I cannot even with this deck. Like, it's so cool. 9 of Leviathans. Oh my god, look at all these steampunk machines. I have to show you this one as well. Okay, I want to show you some airships. Oh, no, actually I want to show you the Messenger of Leviathans. Oh my god, it's a steampunk beetle. How awesome can this deck get? Like, I love all the machines in there. I love all the sceneries. I love sort of like, it's almost like a photograph, but not. It's like this surreal sort of historical reinvention. Like, it's just so steampunk. Like, I can't even. Like, it's just like these exploration of fantastical spaces with technology and historical technology. I don't know, I just can't. Like, I can't even. Like, I love the fashion of steampunk. This is just great. And I'm just looking for another cool card. They're all cool, but I just want to show you a few in case this video gets too long. This is 2 Vengeance. Oh my freaking god. Can this deck get any better? Like, honestly, like, holy shit. Like, if you don't have the Steampunk Tarot Gods and Machine, or Wisdom from the Gods and the Machine, like, you honestly just have to get it, and I recommend trimming and corner punching. It just looks so much nicer after. Like, honestly, like oh my god, oh my god, like, oh my god. Like, I will post another video, probably a blog post, depending. I know I just said, like, in my other video that I'm gonna be posting reviews anymore, but I feel so strongly about this. Like, it's so good. Like, oh my god, like, you need to get it. Like, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I guess I know I said that I'm not gonna post a lot of reviews, but here's another one. This one's special, okay? This one is super special. Like, I have such a long journey with this deck, and I just, so, like, it just sucked that I had to, like, that I kind of skipped out on this, or just missed out on this for 2 years because of the first 2 crappy decks that I got. But then I guess reconnecting with this deck now, it's just, like, a good time to do it, because after having a firmer understanding of tarot and just being in love with the storytelling format of tarot, this just makes a lot of sense right now. So I guess everything works out well. And now that I know how to trim and edge the deck, like, and corner punch a deck, this is gonna be just a much more better experience. So maybe it's just waiting for me to realize all those things and require all those deck trimming skills. Maybe it's just waiting for the right time to come into my life. And I guess it did. And now it's in my life. I'm never letting it go, because it's awesome. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to tell you how awesome this deck is. And if you don't have it, please get it on my behalf. Just have it. Just support this. Just support this, okay? Just support this deck. Like, this deck is so good. Like, I don't know what accent that is. Yeah, until next time, be the hero of story. Keep calm and tarot on. I will see you in my next video.